Hello, I am Just Me and Other People, and I wanted to make a short video showing off some of the weird geometry quirks in Rain World that I found recently using this arena I made. None of them are really practical in-game because these uh, geometries, I guess, are not found in the game, except for this one up here, which I'll go over first. But I'm making this video just so that the information's out there, and they can be, I suppose, useful for people designing their own Rain World regions or levels or whatnot. So, just here's a video about information. Anyways, the first one we're going to talk about is just having these repeating pipes. These currently don't go to anything. They aren't creature dens, but I believe this does work with creature dens. But basically, you can climb them just by holding left, making sure that Slugcat's head is in the thing, and pressing jump. So, my inputs are also on the bottom right. They're labeled appropriately: grab, throw, jump. See my movement. But yes, just by holding left when Slugcat's face is trying to enter into the pipe and pressing jump, you can climb them mostly consistently. You do need to press jump. Tapping jump doesn't get you all the way, and then you can get kind of half stuck and you have to drop back down. But yeah. This one, yeah, you can find these in the actual game. The only place I can think of it being useful is in outskirts, in the big tall room in the bottom left near the drainage entrance. In the bottom there's like a pole plant for Survivor and I think Monk, and kelp in there for Hunter. You can actually, with a stick embed, you can get to these on the left and then climb up if there's stuff on the right hand side of that hole tower. So, but yes, all the rest of these next ones will be useless, but we'll go with this structure first. All this is these are slopes with blocks directly underneath them, and if you make Slugcat jump into it just right, it will pull Slugcat up. It's a little inconsistent, especially on the outside ones, but as you can see, Slugcat's just, all I'm doing is holding right, and Slugcat's getting pulled up. One way I've found to kind of fix it, at least on these outside ones, is yeah, if you hold up and right, specifically on the D-pad. I did try this with keyboard, it didn't work as well, I don't know why. But Slugcat will pull themselves up, pause a second, and then repeat the pull-up process. So, I found these ones to be a little bit more consistent. If you try to just, like, get right close to it and then jump, and hold directly into it, you can get pulled up pretty consistently. Yeah, just all the way up in one go. When I say pretty consistently, I mean none of this is super consistent, but it is neat to, see that it exists. And I think you can do this without have a middle pillar of geometry. You can just have these back to back, right next to each other, basically. But you can't have the two wedges directly across from each other. You can see they're a little offset. Like, it's like there's a clear line there in the bottom. But yeah, I've seen this called hoiking by people playing Terraria, and it also uses the wedge thing there, which works for me as a term, just because hoik does mean to lift, which I found out on Google right before I started recording this. So, yeah, no, neat thing. I think someone else had discovered this before me. I don't remember who. It was probably on the Rain World Discord, though. But here's this. Here's that. Moving on, we'll talk about this. So, putting wedges in little crawl spaces like this is interesting because they will always push you out vertically and you cannot go backwards, effectively making a one-way tunnel. But yes, as I mentioned, they will always push you vertically, so having the wedge faced down will always push you down. Having the wedge faced up will always push you up, and you can't go back the other way. Like, I can't push my way in through here to go back up. You can see Slugcat's little legs moving as well as my inputs. No amount of wiggling is going to get me up in there. At least no amount of wiggling that I have found. So, but yeah, just keep in mind it will always push you vertically. This works in all directions. This one goes this way. This one goes this way. Inverse ones that I have over here still work the same. Always pushing Slugcat vertically. Whether that be up or down. So yeah. Moving on to the next bit, which will be... Actually, we'll save that for after this one, though it is wedge related. But it's going to be the longest one, because we're also going to have to talk about going out of bounds. So, But yeah, okay. So this is weird. Basically, putting a platform one space underneath a block causes the slugcat to sort of treat it like a pipe. You can't actually reverse your direction by pressing backwards and pressing A, and regardless of what's underneath it, slugcat will always treat it this way. But of course, you can crawl down out of it. You can wiggle back and forth a little bit, make slugcat do a dance. Yeah, once you start going, you can't actually flip slugcat around. Trying to go down and flop it out, you can do it here because I have the one block there. But otherwise, slugcat doesn't. Also, if you just try to like walk around here, slugcat won't do it. It'll always pull slugcat up into the pseudo pipe. Strikes me as especially weird vertically because it still works. Like this almost makes sense because like you have a bottom floor and then a top area. So sure, it's a pipe, but not quite a pipe. But it also works vertically. I can't reason out why. As you can see in the middle, I'm not actually touching the pipes at all. Slugcat's legs are on the false floor here. But if you move enough over, slugcat sticks its little legs up, just like would in a pipe. I don't understand why this works, but it's kind of neat. I don't know if it's actually useful to anyone, but figured information is good to have out there. Okay, so before we move down to going out of bounds, I just want to clarify that the stuff on the outside you can see there is just tiles. It's not actually clear or walkable through. That's why this gap here is here. I'm pressing right, but I can't crawl into it. So, going out of bounds. As it turns out, if wedges are super weird, especially if you put them next to, like, in a closed space, you can just push slugcat straight through rocks, or solid floors, I guess, more than rocks. Rocks are a different thing. So yeah, this works with any orientation of wedge in this little mock-up that I've made. Doesn't matter how the wedge is faced, it just needs to be a wedge in there, and it will always push slugcat right on through the... As you can see, these floors are entirely solid. This is no trickery with the level editor. But yeah, this will push slugcat straight out of bounds. It doesn't matter if you go in butt first or not. I think, yeah, I can do that up here. Interestingly, in order to actually get pushed out of bounds, you need to keep moving. Slugcat to go butt first? Yeah, not really. You do need to keep moving horizontally. So, okay, there's a butt first one. Yeah, Slugcat's got its butt up here. If I press down, it actually got me out. But yeah, so here, if I'm pressing up and down on the D-pad, up and down on the joystick, slugcat cannot move, but if I do horizontally, slugcat will wiggle its way out. Don't know exactly why any of this works, but here we are. Okay, if you get slugcat out enough, pressing down will free him up. Okay, cool. But yes, you can use this to get out of bounds. It's illustrated here again. I'm holding directly horizontally, so that slugcat moves slightly. Out of bounds movement is, as you can see, very slow. You can actually speed it up. I found this out today, shortly before recording, that if you just mash jump in cardinal directions, as long as slugcat is aligned with the cardinal direction, it will, shimmy along, as you can see. I'm still mashing jump here, it isn't working, but then when slugcat finally turns horizontally, off slugcat goes. So, yeah. Oh, apparently it doesn't work going down. Hold up, I want to test that real quick. Wasn't test that, I guess. Interesting. It doesn't work going down. Okay, so it's only left and right and up and left and right and up. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's interesting and strange. Why this is, but all right. Now I'm going to take our unwilling volunteer and bring them out of bounds because doing so effectively works the same way it does in pipes. Bring a body in pipes, you can actually move around a little bit quicker. Smaller bodies, big lizards don't work. Smaller lizards don't work either. But things like spiders, scavengers, and in this case other slugcats do speed you up in pipes a little bit. Ooh, which also works out of bounds. Yeah, let's get free movement. The one caveat to this is that if you go entirely out of bounds of the level border, which I have marked with the dark different tile set here. Slugcat will just fall. The slugcat you're carrying will just fall. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to toss him, and then work your way out of bounds on your own. So, or back in bounds on your own. But yeah, you can see once again, I saved the tile and geometry things from the level editor in here just to show that I did mark it. Like, you can see the white border just on the outside of the left-hand one. That is where the level geometry ends, and anything past that is just repeating geometry of what it is on that side. Maybe on the inside. I'm not actually super sure of how this works. You can see on the right-hand side how I marked it with the tile. The lighter pink one being the dark border you see on in the game, and the purpley one being the jail bars, I guess. They're marked there. So I think that's everything. This is all I've discovered in recent days. Yeah, that's the entire video. You can subscribe. I don't know. If I get enough subscribers, I'll turn off ads. I can promise you that. But yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.